April 5, 2010, a classified Apache helicopter video hits the internet. In it, U.S. soldiers gunned down 12 civilians in Baghdad, including 2 Reuters journalists they mistook for insurgents. "Oh yeah, look at those dead bastards," pilot laughs. This footage should have stayed buried in Pentagon servers forever. Instead, 5 million people watch it in 24 hours. In Langley, CIA Director Leon Panetta calls an emergency meeting. Every intelligence agency in America is hunting one man. But here's what terrified them. This video was nothing. The hacker had 750,000 classified files ready to publish. He'd already broken into NASA, the Pentagon, and Los Alamos Nuclear Laboratory as a teenager, and when the CIA came for him, he'd steal their entire hacking arsenal and publish it. For the next 14 years, he'd humiliate the world's most powerful intelligence apparatus from a single room. Who was this man, and how do you kill someone the world is watching? September 1991, Australian federal police smashed through the door of a suburban Melbourne house. Inside, 20-year-old Julian Assange sits frozen at his Commodore Amiga, connected via modem to the Canadian telecommunication system, Nortel. The police have been tracking him for 2 years under Operation Weather. He's hacked systems belonging to NASA, the Pentagon's Defense Network, Los Alamos National Laboratory, and Motorola. Under the handle Mendax, he's become the most sophisticated hacker in the Southern Hemisphere. The judge reads 31 charges. Assange pleads guilty of 25. The maximum sentence is 10 years per charge. But Judge Leslie Ross sees something unusual. This hacker never stole money, never sold secrets, never damaged systems. He only looked. On December 5, 1996, Ross delivers his verdict. No prison time, just a $2,100 fine. There is just no evidence that there was anything other than sort of intelligent inquisitiveness, the judge says. Assange walks free with a criminal record and a dangerous new understanding. Governments classify documents not to protect citizens, but to protect themselves from citizens. He vanishes into the cypherpunk movement, a loose network of 1,400 programmers building encryption tools to protect privacy from government surveillance. By 1997, Assange runs one of the first public-facing websites about cryptography. He co-authors Underground, a book about hacker culture that becomes required reading in computer security courses. He develops Rubber Hose, encryption software that hides data so thoroughly that authorities can't even prove it exists. The Australian government tries to ban it under weapons regulations. Assange realizes he's building something bigger than code. He's building weapons for an information war. October 4, 2006, Assange registers wikileaks.org through a proxy in Sweden. The site's first design document outlines an audacious goal. Create an uncensorable Wikipedia for leaked documents, combining cryptographic protection with legal havens to publish secrets no government can suppress. Within weeks, he's assembled a shadow board of advisors, including Pentagon Papers leaker Daniel Ellsberg and cryptographer John Gilmore. If you liked this deep dive into how one hacker changed history, hit subscribe. In December 2006, WikiLeaks publishes its first document, a Somali government assassination order. By August 2007, they've exposed a Kenyan government hit list that names 500 targets for extrajudicial killing. The leak wins Assange the 2008 Economist Index on Censorship Award. In 2008, Swiss bank Julius Baer gets a U.S. court order shutting down WikiLeaks for publishing evidence of tax evasion in Cayman Islands. The site reappears on 20 mirror servers within hours, and the bank withdraws its lawsuit. Assange has proven his system works, but he needs something bigger, something that will force the world to pay attention. He needs a source inside the American war machine who will risk everything to expose the truth about Iraq and Afghanistan. And what happens when the most secretive military in history discovers its entire playbook has been stolen? May 21, 2010. Bradley Manning, a 22-year-old Army intelligence analyst at Forward Operating Base Hammer in Iraq, initiates an encrypted chat with someone called Nathaniel Frank, Julian Assange's alias. Manning has already sent WikiLeaks 251,287 diplomatic cables burned onto a CD labeled Lady Gaga. The analyst downloaded them from CyberNet, the Pentagon's classified network, while lip-syncing to song lyrics at their workstation. No one noticed because everyone brought music to cope with 14-hour shifts analyzing combat footage. On July 25, 2010, WikiLeaks publishes 91,000 documents, the Afghan War Diary. Page 1 alone reveals Task Force 373, a Black Ops kill squad targeting a list of 2,000 people without trial. Page 47 documents coalition forces killing 47 civilians at a wedding. Page 2854 exposes Pakistani intelligence actively funding the Taliban while taking billions in U.S. aid. The Pentagon claims the leaks endanger informants. Assange points out he offered to redact names if the Defense Department identified them, but they refused. 3 months later, Secretary of Defense Robert Gates admits in a private memo, "The review to date has not revealed any sensitive intelligence sources and methods compromised." October 22, 2010, WikiLeaks releases 391,832 Iraq war logs. One document describes U.S. forces discovering detainees with drill holes in their legs at an Iraqi government facility, then being ordered to hand the victims back to their torturers. The logs record 66,811 civilian deaths, 15,000 more than the Pentagon's public count. Each entry includes grid coordinates, unit identification, and casualty figures. The U.S. military's own documentation contradicts 6 years of official statements. On November 28, 2010, State Department cables begin flooding newspaper front pages. One reveals German ministers provided intelligence to the U.S. while publicly opposing the Iraq War. Another shows French President Sarkozy begging America to keep French opposition to the war secret from French voters. Another one catches Saudi King Abdullah demanding the U.S. cut off the head of the snake by bombing Iran. Hillary Clinton orders diplomats to steal DNA samples and iris scans from UN officials in violation of international law. The retaliation begins in hours. PayPal freezes WikiLeaks' account, cutting off 50% of its funding.
Visa and MasterCard ban all transactions, later ruled illegal by Iceland's Supreme Court. Amazon deletes WikiLeaks from its servers. Senator Joe Lieberman calls for prosecuting the New York Times for publishing the cables. Mike Huckabee demands Manning's execution on television. Vice President and later President Biden labels Assange a high-tech terrorist on Meet the Press. Finally, on December 7, 2010, Interpol issues a red notice for Assange on Swedish sexual assault allegations, charges that Swedish prosecutors had dropped 3 months earlier, then mysteriously reinstated the day after Cablegate began. Assange turns himself into British police. Judge Howard Riddle grants bail at £240,000. The Swedish prosecutor appeals, and Assange spends 10 days in solitary confinement at Wandsworth Prison, while celebrities including Michael Moore and Bianca Jagger raise his bail. On December 16th, he emerges wearing an electronic ankle monitor that transmits his location to police every 60 seconds. How does a publisher fight extradition while the world's most powerful government builds an espionage case against him? And why would Ecuador, a country smaller than Nevada, pick a fight with the United States? June 19, 2012, Assange walks into Ecuador's embassy at 3 Hans Crescent, Knightsbridge, a first-floor flat behind Harrods department store. Scotland Yard has followed him since he left his lawyer's office. They watch him enter, but can't follow. The 1961 Vienna Convention makes the embassy Ecuadorian soil. Outside, officers begin a vigil that will cost British taxpayers £122.6 million over 3 years. Inside, President Rafael Correa grants Assange political asylum, declaring him a victim of political persecution. The embassy measures 2,153 square feet, smaller than a tennis court. Assange's bedroom is a converted women's bathroom with a treadmill, a sun lamp to prevent rickets, and a white noise machine to mask conversations from laser microphones aimed at the windows. He adopts a kitten named James, who wears striped ties for Twitter photos. The Ecuadorian staff initially embrace their famous guest. Cultural attaché Fidel Narváez teaches him Spanish. They play soccer in the hallway until neighbors complain. October 2016, WikiLeaks publishes 50,000 emails from Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta. The messages reveal Clinton received debate questions in advance from CNN contributor Donna Brazil, transcripts of Wall Street speeches she refused to release publicly, and internal polls showing Bernie Sanders posed a bigger threat than acknowledged. The Democratic National Committee accuses Russia of orchestrating the hack, and U.S. intelligence agencies confirm Russian military intelligence provided the emails to WikiLeaks. Assange denies knowing his source's identity. WikiLeaks' submission system prevents even him from identifying leakers. The publication split Assange's support base. Glenn Greenwald and Edward Snowden publicly distanced themselves. The Guardian, his former partner, publishes an editorial calling him a useful idiot. Inside the embassy, relations deteriorate. Assange accuses staff of spying. They complain he skateboarded at 3 a.m., didn't clean his bathroom, and let James defecate on embassy carpets. In October 2016, Ecuador cuts his internet after the Podesta leaks. Pamela Anderson visits monthly, bringing vegan meals and messages from the outside world. March 2018, Ecuador's new president, Lenin Moreno, calls Assange an inherited problem and a spoiled brat. The embassy installs signal jammers, forbids visitors, and threatens eviction if Assange makes political statements. Security footage later reveals UC Global, a Spanish security firm, recorded Assange's privileged attorney conversations and provided the footage to the CIA. Former employees testify the agency discussed kidnapping or poisoning Assange. One plan involved staging a car accident during a medical transfer. Another suggested exploiting his love of cats by poisoning embassy cat's food. December 2018, The Guardian publishes a story claiming Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort secretly visited Assange 3 times. No visitor logs, photos, or witnesses support the claim. The story collapses within days, but the damage is done. Assange is now tied to Russiagate in the public imagination. Ecuador's government seizes on the controversy. Foreign Minister José Valencia flies to London with an ultimatum. Behind closed doors, U.S. prosecutors have prepared an indictment under seal since 2011. They're waiting for one thing: Assange to step outside. What classified program will finally give them justification to demand his head? And who inside the CIA will leak their own agency's darkest secrets? March 7, 2017. WikiLeaks publishes the infamous Vault 7, 8,761 documents from the CIA's cyber weapons arsenal. Page 1 describes Weeping Angel malware that turns Samsung smart TVs into listening devices while displaying a fake off-screen. Page 1043 details how to hack WhatsApp, Signal, and Telegram before encryption activates. Page 5227 reveals Umbrage, a program to steal Russian malware and use it in CIA operations, leaving false digital fingerprints to frame Moscow. The CIA's engineering development group has been gutted. Someone stole the agency's entire hacking toolkit. Exploits affecting Apple iOS, Google Android, Microsoft Windows, and even vehicle control systems in cars and trucks. The breach includes source code, developer notes, and internal memos discussing which American companies secretly cooperate with surveillance. One leaked document shows the CIA hoarded vulnerabilities in U.S. software instead of alerting manufacturers, leaving millions